Welcome back to Versus. If we turn the clock back to 2008, you'll recall that back then, ceramic was the material of the future. Today, we're here to prove that hard cases remain hardcore. Big, black, and stacked with complications. Grand Seiko and the Versus debut of Panerai. Versus starts now. Grand Seiko was late to the ceramic game. With the 2016 Black Ceramic Limited Editions, nicknamed the Avant Garde series internally, Grand Seiko proved that you can be late to the party if you bring better party favors. Today's Onbashira Festival limited edition of 600 pieces was the most distinct and memorable part of the black ceramic class of 2016. Grand Seiko waited until almost a decade after ceramic's mainstream arrival as a watchmaking material to launch its first ceramic watches. As with its dive bezels, Grand Seiko avoided full ceramic cases out of concern for the material's fracture risk. However, the extreme scratch resistance and ageless finish of ceramic were too enticing to reject outright. The solution, as the engineers in Shoujiri saw it, was today's hybrid case construction of black zirconium dioxide ceramic cladding atop a titanium movement core. This is a brilliant solution. Titanium ensures that the case cannot fracture straight through. Screws keep the flanking ceramic and bezel structure anchored and accessible for piecemeal replacement in a worst-case scenario. Even better, titanium retains the lightness of ceramic. Ceramic is 25% lighter than steel, and that impression of featherweight wrist presence is enhanced with a titanium core. Structural engineering aside, the case of the Grand Seiko Black Ceramic Limited is as richly contoured, creased, and chiseled as any titanium or steel offering from Nagano. Metallic highlights about the crown, chronograph pushers, and fixing hardware contrast with drama and beauty against the black ceramic. Grand Seiko's vaunted polyhedron case sculpting looks even more dramatic when diamond cut into polished ceramic surfaces. It's like wearing custom-cut obsidian blades, or, to channel my inner redneck, Knight Rider for your wrist. The SBGC017 strap feels thick enough to stop a bullet, and real money was spent on these lush layers of leather. Black gator on top, forest green calfskin on the bottom, and a contrasting green stitch to unite the two complete this elaborate assembly. A thick and stiff strap can be a recipe for small wrist misery, but that's not the case here. The stainless steel clasp offers peace of mind against droppage while donning or removing. Twin trigger release ensures absolute security when closed. The tree green and tree stamped dial of the SBGC017 celebrates Japan's Onbashira Festival, a Lake Suwa regional Shinto shrine festival that is local to Grand Seiko's Nagano Prefecture workshops. A tree-themed chronograph is Grand Seiko's nod to its insanely dangerous local custom that's led to several deaths and countless injuries over its 1,200-year history. With a mix of religious devotion, action on land and water, plus a moderate body count, it's like a far safer Japanese version of Daytona Bike Week. The tree theme disappears at half an arm's length, so it's not distracting or omnipresent. A stepped and concave hour track adds depth to break up the sprawling expanse of the dial. Dial furniture is superb thanks to expertly finished hands, logo, and applied indices. While the dial appears busy and even bewildering at first glance, the layout logic is superb. Chronograph registers for hours and minutes are aligned at right. The 24-hour second time zone is read against the white lacquer calibrations of the bezel. A gold shaft ensures easy recognition. The date sits outboard of the chronograph registers. Power reserve and constant seconds, each of secondary importance to time, are minimalist. The Onbashira Special's caliber 9R96 3-day automatic is a marvel. It's a spring drive system, so there is no battery. A spring gets wound by crown or rotor. The spring drives the barrel, the hands, and everything in between. A unidirectional governing wheel creates induced electrical current. This wakes up a quartz timing oscillator. The circuit uses the natural motion of the governing wheel and electromagnetic resistance to control the rate of the watch. Because the governing wheel never stops, reverses, or visibly changes speed, the hands driven off of its motion move in a continuously smooth progression. There are no steps or stops here. A few dozen watches from Piaget notwithstanding, this tech is historically unique to Seiko and Grand Seiko. This SBGC017 execution is designed to put extra spring drive in your step. The gold medallion on this special edition's caseback signifies a higher standard of precision born of an upgraded quartz crystal. This model runs at plus or minus 10 seconds per month rather than Spring Drive's usual plus or minus 15 seconds. Recall that a Swiss COSC chronometer can deviate by -4 plus 6 seconds per day. A watchmaker builds and adjusts the movement. It's a lifetime product that will be serviced and returned from the Seiko watchmaker when you require an overhaul. As a Grand Seiko chronograph, this Onbashira Fest limited edition offers both a smooth vertical clutch engagement and the best column wheel pusher feel I've ever experienced. This column wheel stands as tall and crisp as an Onbashira pillar. SIHH 2008 brought us the Panerai Luminor 1950 Chronomonopulsante 8 days GMT PAM 317. A big watch with a big name. It's a rare machine that lives up to the bombast of its marketers. In 2008, the full ceramic PAM 317 launched into a world that appeared on the cusp of following its lead. Like Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the future circa 1998, ceramic, circa 2008, seemed like a watchmaker's miracle material that would banish forever scratches, scuffs, and the need for case refinishing. An explosion of ceramic watches followed, and it's no exaggeration to declare that ceramic was the watch trend of the global Great Recession era. Alas, the material's occasional propensity to fracture or shatter led to a rash overcorrection by 2015. The PAM 317 proves that most folks should ignore the hype and trust ceramic. Unless you're the type to routinely crack and shatter the structurally similar sapphire crystals of watches, ceramic still might be the material for you. This PAM 317 is a Luminor before its ceramic or a 1950. The case shape was born of the vintage Panerai 6152 and remains iconic to Paneristi. It is the one common thread that unites every Luminor from the two-hand Basse to the Grand Complications. Now, 1950 specifically refers to the more complex, contoured, and historically grounded case form launched in 2002 with the PAM 127. Here, the 50s case has been scaled down to 44mm from the original 47. Keep in mind, however, that this lug-to-lug span of almost 55mm is not ideal for wrists below 15 cm circumference. It wears larger than the nominally larger Grand Seiko. In profile, the towering bubble sapphire of the PAM 317 is a jaw-dropping lens worthy of Mr. Hublot. No, the other Mr. Hublot. But the crescent arc of the Panerai crown device remains the focal point of the case. It's both a full-aspect crown guard and a pivot point for the ingenious locking lever. The system is equal parts fodder for Museum of Modern Art exhibit vitrines and a potent rejoinder to the Rolex Oyster-inspired screw-down crown that pervades the sports watch space. Screws fix the meaty calfskin strap to the lugs, and a traditional Panerai trapezoidal titanium pin buckle holds station in PVD black. The dial of this Luminor 1950 is action-packed. Like the 1941 Decima MAS raid on Alexandria Harbor, this Black Ops affair has a ton of moving parts. But, like the Italian Frogman attack, this packed dial pulls off an unlikely success. At center, local hours and minutes share space with a GMT hand that's settable independently to a second time zone. The mono counter at 9 o'clock displays AM/PM status for the GMT hand and hosts the coaxial small seconds dial. At 3 o'clock, chronograph minutes can be read up to 30 elapsed. A Panerai Dogfang style 8-day power reserve indicator anchors the dial at 6 o'clock. Composition of the dial base is characteristic sandwich style made famous by Panerai, a matte black stencil with the form of the indices, numerals, and subdial calibrations sits over a fully loomed disc. The result yields spectacular lume and the unique depth effects that only the sandwich structure can produce. And check out the subdials. Literally every indicator, including the power reserve, is loomed. The Panerai manufacture caliber P2004 was part of Panerai's first family of exclusive calibers in the mid-2000s, and it's monstrously over-engineered. Okay, so these were designed by Richemont's Valfleurier movement arm, not Panerai proper. Get over it, because this thing rocks. A manual wind 8-day power reserve makes this Black Knight an ideal watch for the weekend. You only need wind it on Friday night. The zero reset seconds hand is better than hacking seconds. Every modern movement should include this feature. A column wheel and vertical clutch include the latest standards of chronograph construction, and all are respected in the 2004. The architecture of the balance is both free-sprung and braced by a full bridge for toughness. On top of all the foregoing engineering jargon, the style and visibility of the P2004 are more appealing and accessible than the stack of parts one finds on the back of an automatic chronograph. The structure of the bridges is designed to recall the Rolex and Angelus pocket watch movements that powered military Panerai models. The 2008 version of the PAM 317 featured a caliber 2004 coated entirely with black PVD, and manufacturing challenges proved insurmountable. From the 2009 L series on, the movement was a standard silver rhodium, and the caseback sapphire was smoked black as shown here. Panerai PAM 317 advantages. Iconic design. The Luminor Ni 6152 case shape belongs to the ages and the horological pantheon. Power reserve. Neither of these watches is the archetypical everyday piece, but the Panerai is engineered to remain set even if you wear it once weekly. Dial loom. Not only is this one loomed, it's obsessively loomed. Strap fixed by screws. This makes swapping easier, mounting more secure, and you'll have access to a universe of Panerai OEM and aftermarket options. Zero reset seconds, the new standard in stop seconds functionality. A clean, balanced, orderly dial with no date for the purists. A $21,500 new Panerai that becomes a $13,000 used watch. This is a ton of watch for its pre-owned money. Grand Seiko SBGC017 advantages. Epic brand character. It's a spring drive, Grand Seiko polyhedron case, and a colorful tribute to a colorful custom in Grand Seiko's own neighborhood. The best chronograph pusher feel ever. This thing makes a datograph feel like a Valjoux 7750 adjusted by Swiss Army. For those still stricken by ceramophobia, the hybrid case construction offers peace of mind against a Terminator 2 liquid nitrogen scenario. Despite being far larger on paper, this watch is thinner than the Luminor and far shorter lug to lug. Small wrists are welcome here. This 24-hour second time zone is easier to read and more intuitive than the Panerai's 12-hour plus AM/PM display. As a twin-trigger chronograph, the Onbashira can start, stop, and restart. The monopusher Panerai cannot do that. Roughly $3,000 less than the Panerai pre-owned, and as a 600-piece limited edition, less common. Both watches offer the ageless pleasure of ceramic durability and the stark appeal of black ceramic's brutal stance. Panerai is the only choice if you need a loomed travel companion, and its timeless profile offers a welcome relief from Grand Seiko's endless redesigns. That said, the Grand Seiko fits better, makes no bones about its celebration of local heritage, flashes some color, my favorite color, while doing so, and add a hot-rodded Special Series spring drive motor, and this Timber Festival special is the best way to get wood with a watch.